Hello students, welcome back to online classes. Now we are going to start with our term 1 syllabus, in which first chapter we are going to discuss about is atomic structure. So today we will discuss all these things. First we will discuss about the initial view on atomic structure. Then we will discuss about the Dalton's atomic theory, and after that we will move to structure of an atom. Now before discussing ancient view on atomic structure, I will give you an overview. Like universe is made up of matter and energy. So what is matter? Matter is anything which is having space, which occupies space and has mass, right? So matter is further classified as pure substances and impure substance. Under pure substance, it is categorized as element and compound, and under impure substance, it is categorized as mixture, right? All these element, compound and mixtures are made up of very, very small particles that are known as atoms. In 6th century BC, Maharishi Kannad proposed his views on the matter. At that time he told us that earth, water, fire, air are all elements consisting of atoms. At that time he gives the name to atoms as Anu or Parmanu, right? Then he told that atom is indestructible, means we cannot destruct it, indivisible, which cannot be further divided, and it does not possess magnitude, means atom is not having any size. Each element has its own class of atoms with particular properties. For example, like I am taking an example of hydrogen element and carbon element. The atoms of hydrogen are these. All these atoms of hydrogen will be same and they will have same size, same properties. On the other hand, the carbon, these atoms are of carbon element is composed of these atoms, and they will be identical in size, shape and everything, properties. Okay, but if we compare both these hydrogen and carbon, they will be having dissimilar properties. They will not have similar properties, right? So all atoms are, and he told us that all atoms are regarded spherical in shapes. After that, Democritus proposed matter is made up of atoms and named the smallest indivisible particle as atom. And this continued for next 2000 years. Then Robert Boyle gave a concise definition of element. Then Lavoisier worked on it. After that, in 19th century, Dalton set out his atomic theory, that is also known as Dalton's atomic theory. Right? Now we will discuss about the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. The very first is matter consists of tiny indivisible particles called atoms, or all elements are composed of atoms. Now indivisible means which cannot be further divided. That is that small part which cannot be divisible further, we cannot divide it, right? And atoms can neither be created nor destroyed. That is, atoms cannot be subdivided, created or destroyed. All atoms of same element are identical. Like I took example of hydrogen and carbon. In particular, they have same mass. Different elements have atoms with different mass. Or you can say all atoms of a given element are identical in size, mass and other properties. Atoms of different elements are different in size, mass and other properties. For example, these are the atoms of element A. These are the atoms of element B. When they combine together, their mixture is like this. And when they combine together chemically, they will form compounds like this. Now moving to the next postulate. Atoms combine in whole numbers to form compounds. For example, we cannot say that one atom of carbon combined with 1.5 atom of hydrogen, or one atom of hydrogen is combined with 3/4 atom of carbon. So they always join together, they always form compounds in whole number ratio. Like one atom of, we can say one atom of carbon can combine with 2 atom of hydrogen, 3 atom of hydrogen, 4 atom of hydrogen. But it should be in whole number ratio, right? Next postulate is, in chemical reactions, atoms are combined, separated, or rearranged. For example, when two atoms combine together, they form a compound. For example, iron react with sulfur, they form iron sulfide. Or the one compound break down into two separate particles or elements, you can say. For example, water, on passing electricity through water, it will ionize into hydrogen and oxygen elements. Or they rearrange, like silver nitrate and sodium chloride I have taken. Ag will be combined with chlorine, silver will combine with chlorine forming silver chloride, and sodium will combine with nitrate forming sodium nitrate. Okay. Now there were some demerits of Dalton's theory were there. Dalton's theory does not propose anything about the positive and negative charges of an atom. So hence it was not able to explain many of the properties of a substance. Since Dalton gave us this thing in one postulate of Dalton, it was that Dalton proposed that atom to be indivisible, but it proves wrong when the subatomic particles were discovered. So Dalton theory was modified with the discovery of subatomic particles, and that subatomic particle means from the particles from which atom was made up of were protons, electrons, and neutrons. Now we will discuss about how the proton, electron, and neutrons were discovered. So first of all, we will discuss about the discovery of electron. Electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1897. J.J. Thomson constructed a glass tube which was partially evacuated. We know that the gases are poor conductor of electricity, but once at low pressure and high voltage, they get ionized. Okay, means they become the good conductor of electricity. So J.J. Thomson constructed a glass tube which was partially evacuated. Much of the air was pumped out of the tube. Then he applied a high electrical voltage between two electrodes at either end of the tube. He detected that a stream of particle was coming out from the negatively charged electrode. Okay, that the negatively charged electrode is known as cathode. Where it is moving towards the positively charged electrode, that was anode, and this ray is called the cathode ray, and the whole construction is called the cathode ray tube. So from where we come to the properties of cathode ray particles, that is, the cathode ray particles travel in straight lines. Secondly, they are independent of the material composition of the cathode, like from which material the cathode is made up of. They do not depend on that. And on applying electric field in the path of cathode ray, when we apply electric field in the path of cathode ray, they deflect towards the positively charged plate. So, in physics we have read that, in electrostatic also, that the positive and negative attract to each other. Okay, so the ray when the ray deflected towards the positively charged plate, so it comes out that the cathode rays consist of negatively charged particles. Okay, and the particles have mass equal to the mass of a hydrogen atom, and its actual mass was found to be equal to 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kilogram. Charge on an electron was found to be 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, and an electron is represented by the symbol E, negative. Now we will discuss about the discovery of protons. Eugen Goldstein in 1886 find out the protons. What he did in 1884, Goldstein noted that cathode ray tube was that cathode ray tube with a perforated cathode emit a glow from the end of the tube near the cathode. So Goldstein conducted that in addition to the electrons or cathode rays that travel from negatively charged cathode towards the positively charged anode, there is another ray that travels in the opposite direction, that travels from the anode towards the cathode. He told these rays as positively charged particle or anode rays. A proton is represented as P positive. Mass of the proton is equal to 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg, taken as 1 atomic mass unit or 1 unit. The charge on a proton was found to be 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Then J.J. Thomson, there was a model of atom, given by J.J. Thomson, which is also known as plum pudding model or Christmas pudding model. And he proposed that the electrons are embedded in the sphere of positive charge, like in pudding, the raisins are there. So, according to J.J. Thomson's model of an atom has a sphere of positive charge in which protons are present. And the negatively charged particles called electrons are embedded in this positively charged sphere. And the positive charge due to the protons and negative charge due to the electron balance each other and making an atom electrically neutral. So this was the model of an atom proposed by J.J. Thomson. This is all for today. In our next class, we will discuss about the Rutherford's model of an atom.